Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ask AJ, where I answer questions about intelligent automation and RPA. And I'm here today with Joe Peri from Optivate. And we've been talking for a good part of the morning about different topics on RPA. And, Joe knows me so well. We've known each other so long. It's almost lunchtime here. And, hangry is a thing. It's in the Oxford Dictionary now, right?
Yeah. Well, if the microphone's picking up some grumbling, it's our stomachs.
It'll be our stomachs. But
we'll need to get something to eat.
Yeah, but we wanted to continue to talk about something else that I think we get asked a lot, and that certainly has been on our minds, and is what path is automation going? What's the long term play here or outcome, and do we think that it's going to take a very similar path to what we've seen in other trends too? So
complete speculation here, right? Where's digital labor going to go? And I don't know for sure. I don't know that anybody would know for sure, but if you think about it, look at traditional operations, right? You've got this track record of manual labor, right? So you have your hierarchy of, heavy technology, medium, light, and then you have your different manual labor delivery systems, right? And that whole tiered system is how we get work done. And so that first tier, once you get into manual labor, has been, onshore manual labor, right? And then you have outsourcing, which is take your repetitive manual labor that you can put in a bucket and define, and let someone else do it, because they can reach economies of scale that you can't, right? So they take everybody's stuff, payroll, right? So you send payroll out to someone because they do payroll for a whole bunch of companies, and they get economies of scale you can't get. So the unit cost comes down. And then you take that same thing and you offshore it, right? Because now you get economies of scale and you get labor arbitrage, so you get a cheaper labor rate. So I was thinking about it a few days, week, whatever, and I thought, well, digital labor may head in the same direction. What happens if, because I'm working with clients now, and bless their hearts, they're doing a great job with this stuff. They're looking at building in-house automation capability. Yeah. And I can't help but think that, in some cases that might work, but why? That's not their business, right? They when you think about, back office operations, it's like, any company, you're not in business to do payroll. Yeah. It's not a value add. Right. So, if you're running that operation, you're always looking for ways to do it, better, faster, cheaper. I think digital labor may head down that same path. Why won't this, when this matures or gets closer to maturity and becomes commonplace, and we're all, it's like, we don't even have to talk about it anymore. Everybody just does it. I think it might start getting outsourced, and some of it is even today. It might get outsourced and then offshored, where your care and feeding, hosting, development, blah, blah, blah of the team that manages the digital labor is not within the organization that uses it. Yeah,
you and I have talked in the past about whether or not this will follow the same track as traditional IT outsourcing, right? That at the point in time that became more and more prevalent, when organizations decided that technology isn't what they wanted to specialize in, right, and isn't something that they wanted as necessarily a core competency within their organizations. And so I think the rise of IT outsourcing happened about the time organizations were making that decision. I think the same potential certainly exists here. I think, look, is this easier than traditional IT in many ways? Yes. Is it easy? No. And you have to ask yourself the question as an organization, what the value really is of doing it yourself, just like you ask the same question about anything else you decide to outsource or to hire out for service. We use the analogy with people who are inquiring about using services. Do you want to fish, or do you want to be taught to fish? Do you want to do you want somebody else to haul it in for you? Do you want somebody to teach you how to haul it in on your own? And certainly what we've seen thus far is the majority of organizations want to try to tackle this on their own. I think you and I both agree there'll be a point in time where that will shift, as it has in many other industries.
Yeah, I think, if I fast forward now, you and I have been doing this longer than probably anyone in the U.S. But if I'm in charge of an operation today, I'm starting to have thoughts of, okay, I have this CI and automation team and COEs and all this stuff, this infrastructure to support my new digital labor force. And I'd start thinking about, why am I doing all this? Why am I sitting in staff meetings talking about, the care and feeding of something that should just work?
Yeah.
And what is the value proposition of just saying, you know what, this isn't what we do. Now, the business processes, I still own, right? I still need to understand them. Just like in traditional manual labor, if I outsource that, I still need to keep some kind of core understanding of how it works,
right?
Because it could come back. I think digital labor is the same way. You still need to keep some in-house expertise on it,
right?
Because, well, the digital labor could get sick, or who knows, right? So you always have to have your DRBC plans on how would you handle that,
right?
But I would be starting to think about, okay, if I'm starting to reach some sort of scale, how much money and time am I spending internally to do this, to do the care and feeding, to build and develop, to do the day-to-day in and out stuff. Now, my management team, I think, would still need the reports, right? They need the operation reports of, how's my workforce doing, whether it's manual or digital.
Yeah, exactly.
What's my throughput? What's my cost of ownership? What's all that normal stuff you get. I think, but you don't have to do the care and feeding, the support, the development, the implementation, all that. I don't think that necessarily has to be an internal core competency, and I don't think that longer term the value is going to be there to do it. I think that other people are going to get better at it than you are, and you probably ought to strongly consider moving it out.
Yeah, and just to just to remind everybody, so this doesn't come across as tremendously self-serving, given our current roles. At the time that our program started, it just wasn't an option.
No,
there wasn't an option for us to be able to farm that work out to somebody. And as I have said on previous episodes of Ask AJ, and as I've said in my conversations with many people, if I were to have had the option to be able to use a partner, even at the implementation stage, would I? And I, my answer has consistently been, we would have been foolish not to have made that consideration. It just wasn't an option for us at the time. So, so I think that, again, I think we're in alignment that we're going to see this trend. I think we're going to see more as a service offerings continuing to build up. I think we're going to see eventually that someone is going to make the decision that they don't want to do this themselves anymore.
Some already have.
And some already have, or some are already starting to. So, well, Joe, thanks again for spending time with me today.
Absolutely.
We're going to go grab a bite to eat before I start chewing on the mic cord. So thanks again for joining us. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ask AJ. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Ask AJ Hanna, no H on the end, and we'll see you again next time.